it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, you know, like people don't understand. It really affects me mentally. Like I get like depression when I have these flare-ups. Like I just don't want to be around people. I don't like being at the races. Like it's really hard, you know.
What were the worst years of that?
22 for sure. 2019, 19 and 20 is what I'm saying. Like those are definitely some, but even 2021 when I was really good, really like had a time where like I could be feeling amazing and I'm fighting for it and everything's great. And it's like something switches and I on a day to day for a few days, like I don't feel like you can just tell, like you feel uncomfortable, like you're hurting. You're just like, man, what's going on? You know,
Not
and I'm
recovering.
not recovering, but and then, yeah, mentally, like, fuck, then you don't have any like, it really takes away your confidence, and I noticed big time it takes away from my creativity, like, massively,
Hmm.
and I can even tell that mountain biking, believe it or not, because when I'm, like, good and I feel solid and I always say if I feel normal, because it's a fatigue thing, you know, for me. It's not a, "Hey, did a really hard workout, I'm tired for a couple of days." That's a different you can push through that, you know what I mean? It's a completely different feeling. Being tired from working too much, whatever, that's a different feeling than like the EBV like fatigue that you get, the emotional fatigue, the mental fatigue. I get super groggy, like
Yeah, like
my
cloudy, not able
cloudy,
to
like everything
focus.
comes at me super fast and it's a really annoying feeling. Like it's really and I think and I've talked to people that struggle with the same thing. They say that nobody understands. Like if you it's not like a broken arm you can look at, right? And if you struggle with EBV, you know exactly the feeling that you're talking about, this discomfort, this fatigue, this emotional fatigue, like everything you just feel pretty lifeless, honestly. At least
Mm.
that's how it hits me, you know. And then everybody that struggles with it, they know exactly what you're talking about. And I think people that don't struggle with it, they're just like, oh, you know, whatever.
How do you think you get it? Like, do you know how you get it? Do you know what it's from?
Well, I definitely had I had a genetic test done where it basically shows you with a positive and a negative, you know, it shows you if you have it from your parents. Like there's a lot of hormones, whatever it is, you can test and you know, if it's negative, you don't have any of that from your parents. And if it's plus and negative, that means you have it from
One.
one side. You
Yeah.
don't know which one, but if it's plus plus, then both parents had it and you have it, like whatever that may be, you know. So I have it from one side of my parents, and in general, it's just like an immune deficiency. You know, I had salmonella twice when I was really young,
Yeah.
and I believe my mom always said that the doctor said that like even like digestion wise or like absorbing nutrients is going to be tough for me because of I'm not 100% sure what salmonella, but it's like a gnarly stomach thing, right?
Yeah, it's like well, you get it from food poisoning,
Yeah,
basically,
I'm
don't
not
you?
sure. I was really young, so I'm not sure how that got in there. But yeah, it's like an immune deficiency in a sense, you know. So it stayed dormant, I think, for a long time, and I think just the final straw was not even me training or whatever. It was the injury,
Yeah.
medication, anesthesia. I think I was just so in the dumps, and then ever since, it's been a rough road because it's always against my will, if that makes sense. It has never been about my capabilities or do I work out enough or not. It really had
It's just
nothing,
outside of
and
your control.
it's really outside of my control. And I've gone the conservative route, had the same thing, you know, like it's just like, fuck, I don't know if I could tell you what it is exactly. You know, stress, like all that play a big role or whatever. But like I know by now how to work some of these areas and to try and not do that, you know, and keep it a lot more steady. But it is always a bit of a question mark. It
Mm.
just is. Yeah.
Fuck, that would be
It
frustrating.
sucks, man. And I think that's ultimately why I stopped enjoying racing at one point, like everything. And it's been multiple times throughout my career because when I feel like that, I feel like my candle's burning so low.
Mm.
Like I'm like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. You know, I am so over feeling like that while still having to go out there and perform. And sometimes in the past, like I was able to hide it pretty well because I still do good sometimes, even when I feel like shit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just fuck it. And then when it kind of passes and you know I get in a good groove and things are like what I think back to normal, I'm like fuck, like I feel strong, I feel fit, like I'm confident, like everything's doing great. But that feeling can be taken away with the snap of a finger. It's fucking wild.
Dude.
I don't know what it is. Like it really it happens so quickly. You can go from feeling the best you've felt in a long time to the opposite.
And even still now you deal with that.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I have it at bay a lot more than back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and so now I'm sometimes taking a conservative route, like in the season right now. Like I have a pretty good grasp on when I want to push myself, when I need to gain a little bit, but definitely think ahead because once you tip over that training, just a little bit, you know,
You
it's almost
just
like
slippery slope.
it's a very slippery slope. So I'm trying to maintain a good yeah, just a good rhythm, I guess.
Does not doing the full outdoors help? Like that'd have to make a huge difference, eh?
Dude, there were years where I was so fucking miserable.
In outdoors.
Like felt like I had a 30% tank to start the day off and then it's hot as shit. Like
Track's
I've wanted
rough
to
as
quit
fuck.
100 times, dude. I swear to you. Like I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. So I don't know. I just not in love with moto anymore. I don't know what it is. It's not I have way more fun riding supercross. And then on top of that, with the schedule that I have right now, it's not like I'm just doing 3 races and then I'm done for the rest of the year, right? It's 17 Supercross, WSX, SMX, and then the occasional moto. And I always take it like how I feel, you know what I mean? Like maybe one year I'll do a couple of more rounds. Maybe some I won't do any outdoor rounds. But I don't know. Even practicing right now or just riding moto for fun, it's not, I don't know. I love going on a Supercross track though.
Dude, so do that.
Which is gnarly though, because like Supercross is gnarly, we saw JB like a bunch of and Chad like racing until they're older, but like in general, I feel like dude, riding a Supercross track is no joke. It's peaky, big jumps, you got whoops, it gets rough. Like there's definitely more room for error when it comes to moto than Supercross.
You think that's more dangerous riding Supercross than moto?
I just think you have to be on it a lot more. Like I said, you can over jump a tabletop, come up short, or bank the outside, and there's a reason why. As a hobby, nobody as a hobby goes and rides a Supercross track. Like,
so
you know what I mean? So moto, you can kind of just mess around and come up short, over jump or whatever. But in Supercross, like if you want to ride it properly, unless you want to roll everything, but where's the fun in that?
How much like fitness does it take at your level to ride Supercross? Because I feel like when you're like watching a dude like you that just has so much flow and like you're just a real talented motherfucker when it comes to riding Supercross. So, like, is there a crazy level of talent, so fitness that it takes? Or you can, if you're feeling good and you're flowing, you can just do 20 minutes on a Supercross track? Or is it so different when you're racing?
Well, my base is so good over the years that, like, I can get back to 20s pretty quickly. But in general, to be at the top level, you got to think, like, you do a start or, like, go on the assault bike. You know how freaking hard it is, right? So then, like...
Yeah.
You can be comfortable at your 80% or whatever, get in a good rhythm. But like, if you want to be good, you got to crank those watts. And the only way to get there is to go max effort. And then there's really no limit on how fast or how strong, how long you can go, right? So like the level right now with how fast we're going and how much intensity and how much you push, you're ripping on those handlebars like every single inch on the track. So moto is definitely different. Got 2 motos. You got to get seat time in. You got to do your motos. It's hot and whatever. But no matter what, like even in Supercross, like you got to be freaking fit if you want to go wide open for 20 minutes.
So, yeah, there's no just like getting in the flow and it's a lot
You
easier.
can, but then you'll find yourself not anywhere near the podium.
14th.
I can tell you that much. Yeah, 14th now.
Yeah.
You're not going to be anywhere near the podium. I can tell you that much.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.